and divide type of method, the Democrats and the Republicans. So they say you're either a Democrat or a Republican. You're wrong. You're literally voting for the same party. Because Donald Trump, Joe Biden, they don't actually hate each other. They don't have opposing political ideals. The premises of politics is to promise the people something. And our species of people, us so-called black and Hispanic people, we have no representation in this government. And the ones that do are sellouts to our race. Because this system was the founding fathers, when they stole this land from us indigenous people that are natural to the planet. When they stole this land, they made it operate so only white men can make it in this country. Because don't you see the things they got our people doing? They got our people literally out here wanting to be rappers, killing each other over shoes and drugs. They want our people to be drug addicts, addicted on cocaine, methamphetamine, and stuff like that. And before all you white people saying, oh, it's not our fault that black people have to pay child support. It actually is your fault. Because who made child support? The white man. Who encouraged the black man to have sex with people outside his own race and abandon his child when he done have sex already, and he wants to abandon the child because it usually is more for if you have sex and you have a kid, just keep it. Don't abort it and don't leave. A lot of people end up paying child support, and that's this demon white man's fault. I'm not trying to be racist against anyone, but this system was made for white people, and this system controls the entire planet through a family called the Rothschild Group, and they're spread all over Europe and America. This is how they get their influence. The Rothschild Group is one of these elite groups that control the planet Earth. When I mean white people, I don't mean all white people. Like, I'm talking about the people who are ignorant in their own ways, that actually think that this is not their fault that we're paying child support. It's not a black or Hispanic person's fault. They want to have sex and they leave their kid. They wouldn't want to leave their kid if the system that the white man made wasn't like this, because it's so hard to take care of a kid in this system. It's so much responsibility. It always is. Because this society has shifted to having a responsibility for our children to, we have to focus on this. We have to focus on that. What shoes is he wearing? What drugs is he selling? What beats is he working with? I have no problem making beats. But when they rap about killing our own species, that saddens me. That's why I can't listen to 21 Savage and Little Durk as much as I used to, because why do we have to rap about killing each other? The real enemy is these cops. Why don't we rap about killing these cops that have been killing us and plaguing us for centuries? Why don't we rap about these people killing these pedophiles that run the government and are starting all these wars and distractions and these distraction wars? I call it mental distraction, because why don't we rap about killing these people who run our planet? These cutthroat white businessmen that run our planet. These shadowy group of elites. Why don't we rap about murdering them? I only seen a couple rappers speak out against the Matrix. Kanye West, Big Sean. A lot of them are sellouts. We all know Jay-Z and Beyonce are part of what you call the Illuminati. And I told you that the Illuminati changed from the Freemasons. We're not going to explain that, because I did that in that one section. You're older than you really think you are. So what's going to happen here is the reason, because if you look at this Ukrainian war, it doesn't seem to end. They just keep blowing each other up, Russia and Ukraine. And you're probably wondering why that is. Well, I can tell you why, nigga. Because we started this. This war is all the United States' fault. And if you're a patriot for your country, I'm sorry you have to hear this. But we are the ones who wanted to let Ukraine into your alliance, NATO. Because we all know that white Americans, they're white people that live in the United States. Oh my, that's a big bumblebee. Hello there, Mr. B. We all know that white people that live in the United States, they're not Americans. Us Black and Hispanic and Native American people, we are the true Americans. Because we were here first before they even got here. They stole this land, and now they're walking on stolen land trying to wave their American flags claiming freedom when it's not freedom. They're still oppressing us just like they did back in slavery. They're oppressing us just like they did back in slavery. Because the same methods they used that beat us down in the cotton fields and hang us from trees like fucking monkeys. That's disgusting. They're still doing that to this day. Because they decided to do equal slavery. It doesn't matter what species you are now, black or white. If you want to have a family, you want to have some good friends that trust you. They made it so you need money. Oh, you want to go see your friend, but he lives so far away. You need to get a car to buy money, but the car prices are so damn high, and so is the gas prices. They're so damn high. And that's not Russia or Ukraine's fault for starting this war. It's the government, because they gave us the stimulus checks. And guess what? Remember, we were happy as hell counting our stimulus check money. And now the government's counting that same damn money back through our gas prices. Don't you see it, brothers and sisters? Don't you see that Babylon is all falling down? And when this system all falls down, all these wars, all these elite pedophiles who are running the government, because these people are no different than Epstein. Most of them. Trump was on Epstein's island. Biden was on Epstein's island. All the other people, all these senators in Congress, they went to Epstein's island. Even Trump went. He knew it was wrong, but he went. Because he had invitation to Epstein's island. But back on track, this war in Ukraine, they're only using it because the group of Jews that run America, and the white people and the Jews, these are the people who don't come from this planet. These people like Joe Biden, that senator of that one state, Lindsey Graham, and that senator of Florida, that DeMarcus or whatever he is, and that senator of Kentucky, that Mitch McConnell, they're all not from this planet. They're all alien. They're all alien species. They come from the Alpha Draconis star system. These United States senators and these people who run the United States government, because Joe Biden and Congress don't run America. They're controlled by another group of people who they have orgies with in the White House, because these reptilians are disgusting, foul creatures, and they are all Alpha Draconians. Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell, the people that you see on the 6 o'clock news, they weren't born here on Earth. They may have been, but their parents weren't from Earth. If they were born on Earth, then their parents aren't from Earth, because they are shapeshifters. And what is a shapeshifter, you may ask? Well, a shapeshifter is like Joe Biden or Mitch McConnell. They don't come from this planet. They were either born on an alien spaceship en route to Earth, or they were born on the Alpha Draconis star system around a planet in a star named Thuban. That's where they were born. They were born around another star system. And that's what happens when these people were born. They come to Earth because these Alpha Draconians, they have portals to Earth. In the Alpha Draconian star system, they are an advanced group of lizard-like humanoid beings. And yes, they shapeshift into politicians, celebrities, like some of your favorite rappers. Eminem, he's a shapeshifter for show. Joe Biden, he's a shapeshifter. All the people who run your government are shapeshifters. And a lot of these people aren't just from the Alpha Draconis star system. They aren't just lizard people, all of them, okay? A lot of your people from the Alpha Draconis star system, A lot of people from the star system a lot of people that run the U.S. government come from different star systems. Like you got Joe Biden and most of the people in there. They were born on the Alpha Draconian star system. And their parents, who were military generals of the Alpha Draconian system, they came here to Earth because the Alpha Draconians, the shape-shifting lizard people, they can shape-shift into a god. They can shape-shift into one of your dead relatives. Basically, these lizard people, they take the form and they disguise. This is how they conquered so many planets. Because there's a giant parasite in the Milky Way galaxy, and it's these draconian white people. And I'm not talking about regular white people, because if you are white, you are descended from serpent DNA. If you identify as one of these nationalities, like you're white and you're American, or you're German, or you're Polish, or you're French, or you're Dutch, or you're English, or you're Welsh, or you're Scottish, or you're Irish. I have some Scottish and Irish in me too. I'm biracial. I'm part Nigerian and part Dutch. I have a little bit of Polish in me too. A lot of my ancestry comes from Ghana in Africa, and part of me is from the Dogon Empire and the Dogon Empire in Mali, from Africa. A lot of my blood comes from Africa, at least over 40% of it, and 60% of my blood is European. But enough talking about my ethnic background, but basically, United States is a corporation run by people you can't see, because the people that run Congress are the same alien shapeshifters from the Alpha Draconian star system that they rule underground in the White House, because a lot of these senators, they can't take the sun. And this is why so many black and Hispanic children in America go missing, because Joe Biden and these pedophiles that run the deep state and the government, and the deep state is who controls Congress, and Joe Biden, the president. This is who controls Congress, is the deep state. They're just like the senators and the presidents, except they make all the decisions. They're the ones that make Donald Trump and Joe Biden go against each other, like them two have beef. Them two are best fucking friends, nigga, and I can see it clear as day. They won't tell you that in the 6 o'clock news, because it's all fake news. Because a lot of people just aren't just lizard people. The gray aliens, they're in our government too. The gray aliens are the same as the lizard people. They're just lizard people with gray alien suits on to protect them from the sun. See, when you see that Roger from American Dad, why don't you think you ever see him go out without his gray skin on? That's not his skin. Those aliens, like you see from Roger from American Dad, and those aliens, they have a gray jumpsuit on. Underneath, they're really reptile humanoid beings. And this is what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all these other people who run these countries are. They're shapeshifters. Behind closed doors, the presidents of the United States, they are shapeshifters. This is behind closed doors, yes. They are shapeshifting. They are shapeshifters, and they shift shape, meaning they can turn from lizard to person within a snap like that. And this is what's in their DNA. This is what's in their DNA. They were born to shapeshift, and they come to this planet as they've conquered. Like I said, there's a giant parasite called the Alpha Draconian star system. And the Alpha Draconian star system is doing something that's been illegal against the Galactic Federation for years. Instead of ruling over multiple stars legally at once, which is the cosmic way, they have pillaged trillions of other planets in this Milky Way galaxy. Millions of planets have been pillaged on the Milky Way. So most planets, you want to wonder what most life forms look like. Well, the Anunnaki are the black, tall, extraterrestrial-like beings that us black and Hispanic people descended from. They ruled over most of the Milky Way. But a lot of their kingdoms, this was way before the 1700s when they were abusing us and they were making us work on fields and hurting us and stuff like that. Hurting us for trying to escape and stuff like that. They did this to hundreds of thousands of planets that had black and Hispanic people that looked just like you and me. We used to rule over all the Milky Way galaxy because we are an interstellar species, us black and Hispanic people. And when we were made, because the white man was made in a lab, but we have all sorts of DNA in us, black and Hispanic people and Native American people. We have the same DNA that the white man has. But it's hard, and when I said white people don't have a soul, I take that back. They do have a soul, but it's not as powerful as a black or Hispanic person's. As black and Hispanic people are directly descended from nature, meaning they are natural. And white people, Caucasian people, they were made in a lab by Alpha Draconian aliens and other aliens that run this government, like the gray aliens and the Pleiadians. There's a lot of Pleiadians in the United States government, and a lot of them are Pleiadian Alpha Draconian lizard hybrids, because the Pleiadians were originally known as the Nernians. Okay? And the Nernians, they came to this Earth because their star system, they had a different universe they shared with the reptilians. When I mean shared, the reptilians came and invaded them, and they destroyed their universe. So they fled to the star of Antares, and then there were already people on Antares, so they had sex with those people on Antares, and they made hybrids. And so they left Antares because the reptilians were going to find them, and they built themselves an empire in the Pleiadian star system. And the Pleiadians look just like your normal Caucasian human being, except most Pleiadians, almost all of the Pleiadians are just like, hear me out. Most of the Pleiadians that come from the Pleiadian star system, when they escape, they have blonde hair and blue eyes, and they are tall, stocky beings. So this is why, and yes, there's still Pleiadians in our government today. And yes, Adolf Hitler, he was being told by Adolf Hitler was being controlled by these aliens. Because why do you think Hitler wanted a species? Why do you think Hitler wanted Germany and all of Europe to have blonde hair and blue eyes, the Aryan race? Because the Pleiadians, he was working with extraterrestrials, Hitler was. Because he was in contact with these Pleiadian beings, and the Pleiadians, because Germany was not full of white people. They did not have this weird language. The Netherlands was not full of white people when this earth was first made. The Netherlands was not made of white people. All of Europe was black. Russia, there were black people there. Italy, there were black people there. But then the Pleiadians and the reptilians allied themselves with each other. They were like, fuck it, we can control this place. Because the Pleiadians and the reptilians, they still got beef with each other, but they squashed their differences aside so they could invade most of Europe and Asia and the Middle East. And this is where we get Muslim people from. This is where we get German people from. Dutch people, Belgian people, French people, English people, people with blue eyes, all over the European continent, and pale skin. There was no white man in Europe when Earth was first here. When the Earth was first created in the universe, there were no white people. There were no Germans, no Romans, no Poles, no Italians, no Chinese, no Norwegians, no Swedish, no Danish, no Finnish, no Russians, no Koreans, no Canadian, no white Canadians, no white Americans. It was only black people, And then some mysterious alien invaders came, and they erased this part from history. This was around the times where that Jesus Christ character came in. Because Jesus was never real, but But at the time, there was an alien invasion happening in Israel and all over Europe. And the black people who had ties to the Anunnaki, and we were still the most advanced civilization in the cosmos. We still are. And we need to get back to that, brothers and sisters. And we need to tell these white people where they originally come from. And we need to tell them to stop being racist, or the sun's gonna burn them up and they're gonna perish. Because a lot of these white people that aren't eating vegan and vibrating on the level of the planet Earth. I mean, you don't have to be 100% vegan, but soon you're gonna have to, in a few months, you might want to go vegan. Because the frequencies on this planet are going to be too high for meat eaters to take. And I know a lot of brothers and sisters, black people, who like to eat meat. And they're going to perish along with these racist white people too. Some black people that eat meat are going to live because they're like people like me. We're just automatically connected to the planet. And I'm going to plan on giving up eating meat in like the next few months. I'm going to see if I can't switch over to vegan again. It's really hard, but especially when your family eats meat. It's kind of really hard to not eat meat. Because let me show you why. When you eat some chickens, when you have some nice chicken legs and some chicken thighs and some chicken breasts, you only like let's say you go to KFC, you only like the breading on it. You don't like the chicken. Let's say I was to theoretically take off all the seasoning off the chicken. You wouldn't like it. It would just be raw meat. Same with the ground beef. If I didn't season it or put it between a hamburger and some buns and slap some cheese on that bitch, nigga, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. Simple. You wouldn't want to eat a raw hamburger with no seasoning. That's what makes meat good, the seasoning. You don't like the meat, nigga. You like the seasoning. And what's the seasoning come from? Earth. Nature. I'm not encouraging everyone to be vegan right away, but if we want to get through with this cosmic convergence, this raising of the vibration, if we want to become one with the planet and be balanced, and if we want to live in this new planet, because we're entering the 7th dimension. We already were in the 5th dimension, and a lot of people can't handle the frequency. That's why they're depressed. That's why they're miserable. Because if you're depressed 24/7, it means you're in the 3rd dimension. If you're depressed sometimes, you're in the 4th dimension, and you're elevating up to the 5th dimension. Keep going, keep meditating, and the depression should go away quickly. But, yeah, Rashad Jamal talked about this in his lectures. In that war in Ukraine, this is just for the people who are oppressing us, so they can have more blood of the children and the people to drink. Because they need to drink, these elites that run this planet, they need blood to drink so they can live and they can survive. Because this war in Ukraine, the United States of America, this corporation we call a country, which is known as the United States of America, because all countries are corporations. Canada, it's a corporation. Mexico, it's a corporation. Central America, it's a corporation. Cuba, it's a corporation. Brazil, it's a corporation. The United Kingdom, it's definitely a fucking corporation. France, corporation. Russia, corporation. China, corporation. They all run under the same state that controls the world under Washington, D.C. and all throughout Europe. The Rothschild family, who are a group of Jews who drink children's blood. They have white blood in them too. Because this is why the Jewish race was made to... and this is why I'm worried about Kanye, you guys. Because Kanye said if he changes in front of the paparazzi, he came back different. Because they had Kanye on his meds because he was saying shit about Jews. And how he liked Hitler. And that stuff was true because the Jewish people, the Jewish religion, no disrespect to the Jewish people, the Jewish and Christian religions, the Jewish and Christian and Muslim religions are made to oppress us black people. This is how they went from having us picking cotton, torturing us for trying to escape. They gave us this Bible and this fictional Jesus Christ character. And you don't know how much damage it's done on my family members, on my people. Because this is why we're selling crack and shooting each other and selling drugs, because we put all our we put all our hope in a false prophet named Jesus Christ, or we put all our false prophet in Jesus Christ and Christian God. We put all our false prophet in the Jewish God Yahweh. We put all our false prophet, we put all our hope in the we put all our hope in Christian God and Jesus. We put all our hope in Yahweh and the Muslim God Allah and Jehovah, when we're supposed to believe in ourselves, because we used to rule over the entire Milky Way. We used to be, we were the ones who created life on other planets and other solar systems that still stand today. We are not only just the children of the Anunnaki, so are the white folks, because we made them reptilians. The black man made everything. That's why the black man is God. And if you find this hard to believe, why are you standing on the ground? And you was a black man yourself, and that when there was nothingness in another dimension, that the black woman manifested herself out of dark matter energy. And this is how it goes. Because these white people are going to find out who they really are when Babylon all falls down. And I'm not talking about a black and white thing, because we're not all the same. We're two different species, but that doesn't mean we can come together and treat each other the same, because this is what we need. White people don't deserve to die just because they have a weaker soul frequency than us, just because they're more spirit than soul. We have the most powerful spirit and soul in the being. We have the most powerful spirit and soul being in the universe, us black and Hispanic people. So, yeah, it's over with for these racists and these pedophiles that run the government, because they can't take our galactic sun. That's why they came here to Earth, because when they first came here to Earth, they tried to, because a lot of brothers and sisters still live underground. They tried to hide underground. They couldn't hide underground. So they built this thing called the White House and all these monuments over Europe, so they can drink kids' blood secretly with these people of Congress like Joe Biden and all the other people that rule over the European Union and the European countries and American countries. Because Europe and America are owned by China. And China owns Russia and all of America and Europe. It's all run secretly through a deep state. There's a bunch of different secret groups that I don't know the names of, that I know some of the names of. I don't know all the names of them. I don't know who runs the Chinese. Probably the Jews do. But who runs the Jews? The Chinese. And who runs the Chinese? The Jews. So yeah, this system, this empire of Babylon, because if you look at an old map of the world, you'll see there's no countries there. You just see the Native American and African tribes there. And they're not even accurate, because they don't show all the tribes, because they didn't know what it was like back then, the white man, because they made these maps, because the world used to be united. There used to be like a few countries in the world. South Africa was split into different tribes. Nigeria owned all of northern Africa, and what we'd call the Roman Empire today. Nigeria ruled over France and Spain and England. And basically Germany and Poland and Turkey, those countries were all part of a country that ruled over all of Russia, China, and Taiwan. It was called Tartaria. So all these countries you see, Taiwan, Germany, Denmark, which I'm like 1% Danish, I think, and Swedish. Denmark, Sweden, Germany, Russia, China, Taiwan, they were all united under the same flag, under the same banner, under a country that was only consisted of black people, named Tartaria. And how did Tartaria fell? When it was invaded. They started invading Germany and China, and they advanced into Russia. And this is where you get these white people called Germans. This is where you get these white people called Russians. This is where you get these people from Saudi Arabia and Iraq, where we used to live. that are practicing that weird Muslim religion. This is where you get Muslims and Arabs. They're all alien invaders to this planet. Doesn't mean we have to treat them like it. We have to treat the people that are in charge of the governments. Because whether you're white, black, Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, Honduran, I don't care whether you're white, black, or any of that. Because I don't care anymore. Because everyone on this planet has a purpose and a soul. Whether you're white, black, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Honduran, Guatemalan, it doesn't matter. You all have a purpose here. We all have a purpose on this planet, no matter what our background has came from. Whether we were the good guys in history or we were the bad guys on the side of history. Whether we are the good guys right now in the cosmos or whether we are the bad guys fighting in the cosmos. That doesn't matter. All that matters is we need to come together, whether we're black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Central American, whether if you're black, white, Latina, we need to all come together. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Latina, we need to all come together as a collective consciousness and stop these pedophiles that are running our government. We need to do it, brothers and sisters. This is Horus the Sky God. You know the deal. All power to the multi-celestial angelic beings. May chaos reign within you forever and ever. And oh, before I go, they did enslave us in the 1700s. They had us working on fields, and they're still doing that now. They do the same damn thing to their own species, the white man. Whether you're white, Asian, Latino, Latina, or black, you have to work a 9 to 5 if you want a family and kids. You have to earn what these crackers made up and call money. You have to go along with their stupid monetary system. It makes no sense that we have to pay for things. Back in the day, our ancestors traded, they also made us from going to picking cotton because we used to love each other. Black men and black women used to love each other. Now it seems the opposite. We're all killing each other. Black women don't want to have babies with black men, and when they do, black man always ends up leaving and paying child support. And that's another thing we need to do. I was ignorant to the thought, but interracial marriage is the new slavery. It's the new hanging us. It's the new us picking cotton, because we shouldn't have sex with us black and Hispanic people. We shouldn't have sex with people outside our own races. Black should be able to be with Hispanics, and Hispanics should be able to be with blacks, but that's just it. We shouldn't be hooking up with these Asians or these Caucasians, because they are an alien species, brothers and sisters. And even though we can treat them as equals, even though we are superior to them, we still must treat them as equals, because they have a soul, and even if it's weaker than us, we shouldn't be hooking up with these beings, because I am a biracial person, and I'm speaking from experience. I have lots of health conditions. When a black and a white person make a baby together, it's not supposed to be like that. Nature, that's actually going against nature, because I'm not being racist, but I'm biracial and I have so many problems. If I was fully black, bruh, I don't think I'd have these problems. Like, I have autism, I have ADHD, I have bipolar disorder, I deal with suicidal thoughts. I used to get bullied in school. And this is all part of being part white. Because when you get mixed, it fucks with the person's brain. It fucks with the person's brain. And when you're a mixed person, there's going to be problems, because white and Asian people and Arab people, they don't have the same thing that black and Hispanic people have. Black and Hispanic people have DEA, which is dietheric etheric acid, and white people have DNA, dietheric nucleic acid. And when DNA and DEA mix, it causes things like autism. You have all these white moms on Facebook saying autism causes cancer. No, people from different cultures and backgrounds hooking up with each other is what causes autism, because it's not supposed to be that way. Because black and Hispanic people are basically the same, and if a black man has a kid with a Hispanic woman, then that's good. That's how it's supposed to be. If a black man has a kid with a black woman, that's good. That's how it's supposed to be. If a Hispanic woman has a kid with a black man, or vice versa, Hispanic man has a kid with a black woman, that's good. That's what Mother Earth and nature intended. But if a Hispanic woman or a black woman has sex with a white man, that's the earth. This is why the earth is going off and it's having volcanoes and tsunamis, and the Anunnaki have made it clear. My ancient Nigerian ancestors have made it clear that they're pissed about this. And this is why there's wildfires in California and Canada, because they don't like people of two opposite races, of two opposite species on this planet hooking up. That's why they're burning down all the trees in California. That's not happening because of our galactic sun heating up the trees. No, those are lasers from outer space that are coming from a spaceship by these black extraterrestrials that are mad that our species are not hooking up with one another. That's why they gave us these different labels. Us dark-skinned people, we all come from the same. They gave us different labels. They tried to say we're Colombian, Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, Nigerian, African American, Native American, Indian from India, when we're all the same. They gave us these different labels so we'd hook up with the white man, and they want to destroy us. Because if let's say hypothetically black people stop being with black people and Hispanic people stop being with Hispanic people, and this will never happen, not on my watch. Let's say black and Hispanic people only had kids with white people. That would be racist, wouldn't it? You may think it's racist the other way around, but no, it's not. If white people only got black people and Hispanic people and Native American people pregnant, then within a few centuries, when us black people die off, there will only be white people and biracial kids, because we'd be wiped off. And that's what they're trying to do. That's why they try to enslave us and hang us like monkeys in the 1700s. That's why they made us work on the cotton fields, because they knew they couldn't kill all of us off. So they enslaved us and forced us to work, because they wanted to kill every single black person off. And they couldn't do that, so they introduced mixed children, like me, interracial marriage. So that's their new way of killing us off, and I do not like it, brothers and sisters. You may think this is racist, but remember, brothers and sisters, they stole our land. The only forgiveness we can give to them is not by not having sex with their species and forcing them to meditate, or they can get killed. Forcing them to eat vegan and meditate so they can be on the frequency of this planet, just like our ancestors were. So those white and Asian folks, they don't got to get killed. But the ones who are asking to get killed, like the ones who don't want to meditate, the ones that don't want to think that they're gods and see the God in them, because we all have a God in us. The reptilians think they're gods. It's just by pillaging and killing do they think they're gods. Drinking children's blood to get them high, because it contains a chemical called adrenochrome, which their empire is built off of, and they wiped off a lot of brothers and sisters on other planets on the other side of the Milky Way. But this is why they thought Earth was so important, because they knew black people started out on Earth originally, and we rule over all of the solar system. We made a deal with some Caucasians to live on Venus. They're blue like alien creatures, but they still count as Caucasian. Remember, we talked about the Caucasoid race. And back then, I was still a little bit prejudiced against white people. But now I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see that white people, even though most of them are racist, the ones that aren't racist, they're not all that bad. I shouldn't have to cut off all the white people, because even though they're inferior to us, we shouldn't like have the blacks on tops and the whites on the bottom. It should be an equal society, okay? We just don't, and we can hook up with each other and make babies, but before we can do that, we need to stop this racism problem, in this atheism, in this Christian problem. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to quit using this fake bullshit science, because science fiction is actual science, and The science that the government made up that they call real science is not real science. That's that's real science fiction, real science, what the government calls real science. And these white people just want to piggyback and dick ride the government because they think the government's their Lord and Savior. A lot of these atheists think they're going to get saved by Donald Trump or Joe Biden, which they're not, because I'll be standing over them with a 12 gauge, ready to blow. Just like they say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Same with the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews. I'll be ready to blow their heads off too. And I don't have to blow anyone's heads off. People are going to start having heat strokes and die in the sun. Last year in New York City, thousands of white people and even black people, yes, black and Hispanic people, our own brotherhood, they were dying because they couldn't take the heat of the sun in New York City. People were dying like flies, and by June 6th, it's going to happen again. There's going to be another solar flare, another massive heat wave, and people who cannot handle the frequency of this earth, who are not on the frequency of this earth, they will perish. They will get sick, or they will either die. So that's all I have to say for now. You know the deal, brothers and sisters. All power to the multi-celestial angelic beings. And remember, brothers and sisters, may chaos reign within you forever and ever. Remember, brothers and sisters, chaos is power. Signing out. Remember, brothers and sisters, chaos is power. Signing out. Remember, brothers and sisters, chaos is power. Signing out.